What's going on, fam? So, I want to get into a post. This post has to do with women's submission. And I did a post based on Genesis 2:15 through 18. All right, and that has to do with the things that Adam had before God gave him a wife. And so I think that the first two might be self-explanatory, but we're going to go through them. The first one is work. A man needs to be working. Guys, you got to be working. And listen, 40 hours may not be enough. For me, I work 60 to 70 hours a week. You know, the 60 is the new 40. So if you're a guy that's making what the average man makes, as a black male, that's 45,000, as a white male, that's 56,000. If you're making within that ballpark, that is what the average man, 80% of the men in the United States, actually make. So if you're doing that, you're working, so you're good. You need to have a place. I said home, but that doesn't mean necessarily a house. It could just be a place where she has a roof over her head. Your job is just to provide and make sure that she has a place to stay. I mean, where is she supposed to stay? In your mama's house, in your grandma's house, in somebody's basement? You need to have a place for her. That is the man's responsibility. And when that is changed or switched, you realize that the dynamics change with power, and women usually have an issue with submitting to a guy where she feels like she's doing all that stuff. You need to put that in your ballpark. You have the place. Okay? That's simple. I think people now have an issue with the third part, which is you need to be in the presence of God. See, when Adam was given Eve, God actually took a rib from him, made her, and presented her to him. That means that Adam had God in his life. He was in the presence of God. So the issue with submitting to a man that is godless or has no God, and it may not be an issue for some of you women, but when you're submitting to a man's values, his character, his principles, and many of those things come from religious beliefs. And if he has no religious belief, that means that he is basically his own God. So whatever whims, whatever he feels is right, that is what a woman is submitting to. And so it's very important for a man to have some kind of religiousness, some type of spirituality, because when you're leading a woman, you're leading based upon that spirituality. And women, you need to understand that when you're submitting to that man, you're submitting to that spirituality. So if you're a Christian, whatever his principles are, the man is submitting to God. See, the woman submits to the man. But in order for me to lead, I need to be submitted to a being myself. So who am I accountable for when it comes to making the decisions for my wife and my family? I have to be accountable to somebody, right? To lead. So that means I'm accountable to God. So that's what I meant by this post. And it's very simple. If you don't have those three traits right there, and women, you got to look for these different things. And men, you should have these things. I'm telling you, I advocate for men, but I only advocate for honorable men, guys. We are leaders. So when we are leading, we have to be on point because women are looking to follow, looking for instruction. So that means that we have to lead in a way that's honorable so that when they follow us, they're following the same thing that we're doing, which is what we're going to want. We don't want them to follow a different way. We want them to follow what we're doing. And the issue is when we end up cheating and doing all kinds of things outside, well, they feel like, hey, I want to do that too. And that's just one example. Women want to follow what we do, and we need to understand that. So we need to lead godly lives. We need to have a home. We need to have work. Those are three basic things that you need to have. And godliness is important because that's where your value system is going to come from, men. Your value system is very important in leading a family. That's all I got for you. Take care, fam.